Yes, sir. Tell us quickly something about yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Christopher, and I belong to a very small tribe called Aimol. I was born and brought up in Technopal district of Manipur. I've done my graduation in physics from St. Edmund's College, and since then I've been studying for UPSC. And as far as my hobbies and interests is concerned, I love playing football and I love singing gospel songs.
Who doesn't in
So,
that part of the world? Okay. All right. So, okay. So, I think you will give us a very authentic account of Manipur crisis.
sir.
Can you enlighten us?
So the issues.
Issues here.
Yes, sir. So the main issue, the immediate issue was the demand of ST status by the Meiteis and the High Court instructing the government of Manipur to consider the case. And apart from that, there are other issues like drug issues like poppy cultivations and the influx of illegal migrants from Myanmar due to the instability there. So these are the main issues, sir. Apart from that, there are deep mistrust between the communities. And that is one of the factors that led to the violence.
So, why this problem is not being solved? I think how many months we'll be completing 1 year in May.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the solution? Suppose you are going to be in charge.
Yes, sir.
To sort out this issue.
Yes.
How will you go about it?
So the foremost thing that comes to my mind is the rehabilitation of the displaced people, because I do believe that the trauma caused by the violence that is deeply ingrained. So we need to heal that first. And as far as the law and order situation is concerned, there has to be the arming of the radical groups and encouraging the people to voluntarily give up the arms. And also, sir, I believe that the media and information also plays a very crucial role. In fact, the outrage because of the gang rape that happened in Manipur, that was partly because of the fake news and the concerns, the cooperation of the neighboring states like Nagaland, Assam, Mizoram, and also the international countries like Myanmar. I think these has to be taken care of. And regarding the influx of illegal migrants from Myanmar, I think the government of India and the government of Manipur is taking the right step by revoking the FRM and also announcing that the Indo-Myanmar border will be fenced.
Okay. Now, if I say that geography of a place, the climate of a place, decides the food habit,
yes, sir.
of that particular place.
Yes, sir.
Can you give some examples?
Yes, sir. So, for example, since I belong to the hilly regions, I can say that because of the climatic conditions, cultivating crops like paddy and wheat is not possible. So we rely mostly on non-wet items. And so vice versa in the valley, because there they have a lot of valley and agricultural fields. So the main diet revolves around the rice. So,
okay, so what is a landlocked country and what is a double landlocked country?
yes, sir. A landlocked country is a country which does not have access to coasts or seas. For example, like the Kyrgyzstan that we have. And double landlocked is that it is bordered by another landlocked country. For example, we have one double landlocked country in Europe. That is, I'm not sure if I would pronounce it correctly, Likistan something.
Yeah. And the other one?
So the other one, yes, I've read about this. It just skipped my mind right now.
Okay. And how many landlocked would be there? Just an order of that, not this.
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of that, but as far as the double landlocked is concerned, there are two countries.
Yeah, that's very correct. Now, tell me, recently there was a problem in Haldwani. Have you read this in the newspapers?
Yes.
The mosque,
yes,
the madrasa was demolished and there was a lot of arson that took place at that place. So now tell me, people say that it was failure of intelligence failure, or maybe the intelligence reported and the district administration did not pay any attention to that. So what exactly was the problem? Have you read the newspapers regarding this, if you are aware of that?
Yes, sir, I have read about this, but not much in details. As far as I'm concerned, it was about the eviction drive that is carried out by the administration, and the eviction drive was opposed by the locals there.
Now, while I'm watching the news regarding this particular incident, I came to see on this thing that the shoot at sight order has been issued.
Yes, sir.
Curfew has been imposed.
Yes, sir.
And a shoot at sight order has been, is there. It was there in the newspapers also.
Sir.
So, which is the legal provision under which a district magistrate can order a shoot at sight order?
Sir, I beg your pardon, I'm unaware of the exact provision, but as far as I'm concerned, I think it would be the.
Is there any provision like this?
I'm not sure about this, sir, but then the same was being implemented in Manipur as well. When the violence outbreak happened on 3rd of May, and the government of Manipur announced shoot at sight.
Okay. Now tell me, what are the basic functions of police?
Yes, sir. So the first and the foremost is the law and order. That is the main function of the police, and also, sir, the earning the trust of the people. I think that is also one of the main role, and also upholding the constitutional values and enshrined in our constitution. I think the police has a great role to play in that, sir.
Nothing to do with crime.
Yes, sir. I would say that crime, for example, the crimes, the drug trafficking,
in fact,
human trafficking.
Crime, prevention of crime is the primary.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Law and order comes later on. If you control the crime and investigate crime properly, law and order will always be. Automatically it will improve.
Thank you for enlightening me, sir.
Okay. Now my last question, again regarding police. Police has got various functions,
Yes,
different type of jobs they have to do. So can you think, and it is very hard pressed, very limited manpower is there.
Sir.
So if we were to privatize certain functions of policing,
Yes, sir.
outsource it to, because now it's going on in the government also, many things are being outsourced.
Yes, sir.
So in your opinion, what functions of police can be easily outsourced?
So the first thing I would say is the technological aspect. I think the government is not investing enough when it comes to technology. I think that part can be privatized to some extent, except the crucial informations and the critical.
Yeah, so all the supervision will be there.
Yes, sir.
And anything else?
So that is all that I can think of right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
See, you were talking of Manipur. You talked the two issues, tribal status and drugs and all.
Sir.
How I understood the whole thing, the major issue is with land.
Sir.
Land ownership.
Yes, sir.
Because there is the land rights of some certain areas which the cookies will be.
Yes, sir.
So do you think that is the main, the crux of the problem?
So that is one of the problem, but I beg to differ. I think that is not the main issue, because there was a particular act which ensures that the land distribution between the hill and the valley, for example, like 90%, 10%. But that I believe that is only one of the main problem. Apart from that, the deep mistrust between the communities, and also the heterogeneity of the Manipur state. I think these are the main issues, sir.
The ST status, the government jobs are already very few.
Sir.
Why there is so much clamor for getting ST status and getting few jobs?
Yes, sir. So as you have said, one is the land issue. That is one of the factors, because once the minorities are given the ST status, they would have access to land in the hilly regions. And apart from that, sir, if we look at the socio-economic conditions of the minorities, although they are a relatively progressive society, most of the people, especially the lower sections of the society, are deprived of their socio-economic opportunities. So this was one of the reasons they demanded ST status.
Okay, now see, this government is moving fast towards implementing CA, UCC.
Sir.
UCC,
Sir.
uniform civil.
Sir.
And what are the challenges? And do you think India is ready for having UCC?
Sir, at the outset, I would say that since Article 44 provides for UCC, I think the government of India is taking the right initiative. But as far as the challenges are concerned, yes, sir, we have, as India is often called the land of unity in diversity, the diversity that the various sections of the people have, these could be one of the challenges. And as far as the amendment of the personal laws, for example, the Muslims, the Hindus, Christians, the reformation of these personal laws is one of the main, is also one of the challenges. And sir, I strongly believe that if UCC has to be successful in letter and spirit, then we have to take the concerns and the aspirations of the people. I think that is very important. If we go a step ahead of that without consulting the people, then the people would feel a kind of self-imposed one.
These personal laws, except the tribals which are not in mainstream.
Sir.
Some tribals which are not in mainstream, they have some personal laws.
Yes.
If we leave aside them, and other communities, by and large, 90-95% will be covered by this.
Yes, sir.
UCC, though, is not a progressive step.
Yes, sir. It is a very progressive step. First of all, it would ensure the gender justice and women empowerment. For example, the recent UCC enacted by the Uttarakhand government, it has provisions for raising the marriage age of women from 13 to 18. As far as the Muslims are concerned, I think that will address the gender issue and will also lead to women empowerment. And sir, the UCC, I believe, would also ensure national integration and secularism, because apart from the good things that we have in a personal law, there are some ingrained stereotype towards women, and I think the UCC is doing well in bringing a reform. Sir.
Okay, another bill which the government of Home Minister said yesterday that we will implement is CAA.
Sir. Sir.
So, what is, if there is anything wrong with CAA, why then come so much opposition to CAA? What does CAA wants to achieve?
Yes, sir. So CAA stands for Citizenship Amendment Act. So we have seen in the state of Assam, a lot of the people, especially the lower sections of the society, were deprived of their due representation because they do not have the documents or the legal provisions, the legal documents to represent a claim. So I think the CAA, to some extent,
CAA doesn't talk of that.
Sir.
CAA doesn't talk of persons living in India and already staying. It doesn't talk of that.
Sir.
It talks of something else.
Sir, I'm unable to recall right now.
And NRC are different thing. I'm not talking of NRC.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I mistook it for NRC, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. CAA, sir, it provides for grant of citizenship to 6 minority sections, except from Pakistan and Bangladesh, as far as I can remember, excluding the Muslims, the Christians, the Hindus, Sikhs.
It doesn't apply to citizens of India, right? So somebody who's coming from outside and then giving citizenship to those. And why there is so much human crime?
So, the first and the foremost issue, I believe, is because of the influx of illegal migrants. For example, in Manipur, we have witnessed a lot of instability in Myanmar, and people, especially the Chin people, are coming into one.
That is a problem. That's part 2 of the problem.
Sir.
We go to part 1.
Sir.
Again, you are coming to NRCs. Apprehension of NRC.
Sir.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir.
Last question. There was a Hindenburg report.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that report? Heard about it?
Yes, sir. It was related to stock market, and particularly the short selling. The Adani group was involved in this.
What was the issue? What was the allegations, specific allegation against the Adani group?
Sir, Uh, Sir, I've read about this, but I'm unable to recall exactly right now, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, Christopher, have you heard of
Ma'am.
IAS Officer Armstrong Penna?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, he's the one who sponsored my coaching.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I'm going to ask you a question about him.
Sir.
He crowdfunded to build a 100 kilometers road in
Yes,
remote
ma'am.
areas of
Yes,
Northeast. What do you think are the ethical concerns with regard to his decisions, and what lessons can we learn from him in administration?
Ma'am, could you please repeat the question again?
Yes, he had built a 100 kilometers road in Northeast to remote areas of Northeast
Yes.
using crowdfunding.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what are the ethical concerns with regards to this decision to do so, and what lessons can we learn from it in administration?
Ma'am, the ethical issues.
Ethical issues. Also, are there any lessons that we can learn from it as an administrator?
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, the first issue, I would say, ethical issue is the source of the fund. Since it was the crowdfunding was done through Facebook, the source of the fund, that is the main issue that comes to my mind right now. And also, since it was done mainly by Armstrong Firm, I also believe there could be issues of accountability and transparency in how the fund was used. So these are the two ethical issues that I can think of right now. And the lessons that we can learn is that the service to people and also understanding the pulse and the hardships of the people, that is one of the main lessons that we can learn and inculcate in our life, especially the needy people. In fact, before the road was constructed, the sick people were carried on bamboo sticks for about 5 kilometers. So that, I believe, it reflects the passion for service and also understanding the needs and concerns of the people.
But when you come to look at management and corporates, we're using crowdfunding to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
largest extent possible.
Yes.
Do you not think that it can take away a lot of financial stress from administrative services, or if mechanisms like these are employed? And if they come to be employed, what are the checks and balances that can be applied in the process?
Yes, ma'am. As far as the checks and balances are concerned, there are two things that comes to my mind. First is the PMLA Act 2002, and the other one is the FCRA, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. I think these two can ensure transparency in funding. Yes, ma'am, I agree it would take away a lot of financial stress from the government. And in fact, the crowdfunding is also a very good initiative. But at the same time, we have to ensure where the fund is coming and also how the fund is being used. And also not only at the time of implementing the project, but also after, like periodic review has to be done.
Alright.
Thank you.
Since you've taken geography,
Yes, ma'am.
let's look at things from a human geography standpoint.
Sure, ma'am.
And how many IITs and IIMs are there in Northeast?
Ma'am, we have one IIT in Guwahati, and NITs we have in Nagaland, Manipur, and one NIT in Meghalaya. That's all I can think of right now.
Alright. Why do you need a university like NEU
Yes, ma'am.
in Northeast?
Yes, ma'am.
When you have IITs that can be in technical
Yes,
products,
ma'am.
why do you need something like NEU in Northeast?
Yes, ma'am. The first thing I would say is IITs and NITs focus more on the science stream. For example, if a person wants to pursue career in commerce, in arts, then universities like NEHU is necessary. And also, ma'am, not the seats and the vacancies in IITs and NITs are very limited. So if we take away a university like NEHU, for example, then I believe it would deprive a large section of the students. So it kind of provide the opportunity for them to pursue their career and also according to their passion.
Alright. Let's go deeper into the environmental aspect of the geographical
Yes.
practices. Why did NGT raise concerns over the Rajpur mining that still persists in Meghalaya, and why have they not been able to go it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The red hole mining, despite being banned by the NCT, it is still practice in Meghalaya. The main issue in NGT banned is was that because of the safety issues and also the environmental concerns because of the red hole mining. In fact, because of the very few diameters that red hole mining is being done, it is it is not possible for an adult to go inside. So there are allegations of child labor. So I think the NGT was right in banning the red hole mining. As far as the continuation is concerned, ma'am, I would say if we have to do away something, then we have to provide alternative livelihoods, and I believe that is lacking in this NGT ban. So, since the local people do not have viable alternative options, they are still resorting to this mining.
It's good that you pointed out how many livelihood options are required.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the industries that have potential and have been neglected in Northeast, and what can be done to get them out?
Yes, ma'am. As a person from Northeast, I believe Northeast in general and Meghalaya in particular, we have a lot of tourism potential. So I think that can be one option we can explore. And apart from that, sports is very much ingrained in the culture and traditions of the Northeast people. So if we provide a kind of sports facilities, though it would take some more years in the initial stage, I think this is one of the alternative option.
Anything that you think of under Make in India?
Yes, ma'am. The handloom and traditional handicraft. The Northeast states have great potential in that. In fact, I've seen my parents doing that for so long. So I believe the handloom and traditional handicraft is another potential aspect, especially because the women in Northeast are naturally gifted when it comes to weaving.
So you are from Manipur.
Yes, sir.
Famous lake of Manipur.
Yes.
What is the name of
So
that?
the famous lake is the Loktak Lake. It is situated in Vishnupur district of Manipur, and in fact, it is one of the Ramsar sites in India.
Further?
Sir, apart from that, the Loktak Lake, apart from the geographical and economic aspects, Loktak Lake also played a very crucial in the evolution of Manipur's culture. For example, sir, the combined the Thoibi dance, also known as the Manipuri dance, one of the classical dance, it evolved from there. So the Loktak Lake and the geography played a very crucial in forming this traditional dance.
And there are floating islands in that particular lake.
Yes, sir, that is the famous Kaibulangrao National Park, where the endangered Sangai habitats are. And the floating mollusk is also known as Fumdis in Manipur. Yes.
Why they are so important?
Yes, sir. Sir, the first and the foremost thing is that Loktak Lake provides various types of provisions for the people, a means of livelihood, for example, fisheries, and also the dams that we have from where we generate electricity, and also from environmental aspect, because we have seen that the Loktak,
These islands, floating islands, why they are so important? Why should we should consider them? It's just a water surface.
sir, so this is the only place where the we find the Sangai. So they do not have another habitat apart from the Kaibulangrao
It
National
is
Park.
only the islands or it is on the coast?
It is in the island only.
On the islands.
Yes. So if the floating land masses are extinct, then the life of the Sangai would be endangered.
What is the name of the national park?
Kaibulangrao National Park.
Your father is in agriculture.
Sir.
And you are preparing since 4 5 years back.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we should do something else also? Because the agriculture income is very low.
Sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I believe the last 5 years have taught me a lot in terms of, sir, I've learned the value of perseverance. In fact, I completed my graduation in 2016 And since 2017-18, I've been preparing for UPSC. So I believe if it was not for the perseverance that I have, I don't think it would sustain me this far. So these are some of the life lessons that I've learned. Yes, sir, I agree with you that I can also help my father as far as the cultivation is
What
concerned.
kind of cultivation of crops?
Yes, sir. Sir, since we belong to the hilly region, we practice shifting cultivation, and the crops that we grow there are like.
This land belongs to you as a, or it is the government land, all this cultivation is prioritized by your country.
Sir, it is a community land controlled by the tribals. So these patches of land are being leased to the people there.
What is the difference between older system of shifting cultivation and nowadays the shifting cultivations?
Yes, sir. Sir, the first important point is the diversity of crops that we grow. Earlier, we used to cultivate only rice and bananas, but we have diversified now. For example, we have grown potatoes, we have grown citrus fruit. In fact, the famous Tamenglong orange that is GI tag. So we are cultivating that on a great scale. So I would say the diversity of crops, and secondly, sir, the awareness of the farmers, the cultivators. Earlier, it was based on primitive technology.
Shifting cultivation is shifting once you grow citrus or some longer duration crops, then how can it be a shifting cultivation?
So it is mainly on the foothills. So even though it is term shifting cultivation, it can sustain for 4 to 5 years.
But shifting apart like for them, the citrus fruits,
Yes, sir.
they grow for another 10 20 years.
Sir.
So shifting cultivation cannot be set like this. It is 4 5 years growing, then leaving for 4 5 years, again growing in the same, after say 9 10 years.
Sir.
So once you are doing shifting citrus,
Yes,
it cannot be a shifting cultivation.
Yes, sir, I agree with you. It is not exactly shifting cultivation. It is both based on shifting cultivation. Also, we use modern inputs. So these patches of land provides a good source.
So don't you think now we should have a sustainable agriculture instead of shifting cultivation? Let there be an agriculture.
Yes, sir. There are issues of deforestation and soil erosion when it comes to shifting cultivation. But sir, we also have to look at the other aspect, because people in the rural areas, they live on bare necessities, and shifting cultivation as a means of livelihood provides food security to people. And also, sir, even though there are issues like deforestation, the shifting cultivation is also deeply ingrained in the culture of the local people.
But nowadays, why shifting cultivation used to put ties? For 5 years, nothing being added, and then we are getting the crop.
Sir.
Again, after 4 5 years coming back, the fertility has been regained, and now we are.
Yes.
Now the farmers are being given government help by subsidized seeds, and then help to some extent even the fertilizers are being given, other things are being added into. Irrigation is also being motivated or something like that.
Yes.
So don't you think now we should sustain it for a longer period as an agriculture activity?
Sir,
Instead of shifting cultivation?
yes, sir, that is a very good question. I would say once we provide the alternative means of livelihood, the shifting cultivation can be done away in a gradual manner.
Shifting cultivation instead of shifting cultivation, it should be a permanent cultivation in the same way.
So the natural fertility has to be renewed. So if we do continuous cultivation on the same patches of land, the cost benefit will be very low.
So, thank you.
Thanks.
The reason why I said who doesn't in that part of the world was because as a general trend from my college friends, all the guys go for football, and all the girls have been going for boxing. Except about 10 years back, guys are also going for boxing. Why is it that no other sport is sort of taking root in Manipur especially?
Yes, sir. So when it comes to the sports culture in Manipur, the initiative of the government of Manipur hosting the 1999 Asian Games played a very crucial role. We were one of the highest, not the Asian Games, the national games, sir.
National.
Yes, sir. In fact, Manipur got the highest medal in that year, and much of that medals came from boxing and football. So the momentum from there, I think that is the sports athletes are being seen as role models and icons, and that is one of the main factors.
What can you tell me about Dinko Singh? One of my
Dinko Singh is,
favorites
Sir.
one of my favorites who couldn't unfortunately score big.
Yes, sir. So he passed away a few years away. He passed away just few years back, and in fact, he won the gold medal at the. Sir, I'm exactly aware of the medal he got.
Missed the gold medal.
Okay, sir.
He was
So
the
that-
fastest. He was the fastest
At
and the
the-
best. But due to a technicality,
At the,
after that he lost his touch.
So it was at the Asian Games, and apart from that, sir, he played a very crucial role in coaching the upcoming boxers.
Okay. Tell me, you're a physics student.
Sir,
You must have read about the black hole,
sir.
right? Black holes.
Yes, sir.
So if you cannot see it, obviously, light cannot escape. So what you see will not be bounced back.
Yes, sir.
How do you know that there is a black hole? Scientists even often say there is a black hole of this much mass or
Sir, sir, I'm not exactly aware of this, but we have conducted missions like, for example, we have recently discovered the message.
it's not the question.
Sir,
Stick to the question.
yes, sir.
How do you locate the existence of a black hole in the sky?
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not
Okay,
exactly
all right.
aware.
Let's go back to a more basic question which I asked.
Sir.
How do you find out? How do you reach the absolute zero? Can you reach the absolute zero? If yes, how? If not, why not?
Sir, I'm sorry. So, sir, I'm unaware of this.
Okay. You remember there was this Mission Shakti a few years back when the Honorable Prime Minister
Yes, sir.
appeared on the TV and
Yes,
said,
sir.
okay, and people didn't know whether we are running to the bank or running to,
Sir.
And then he declared that India has become it has got into the select club of those countries which
Yes,
can
sir.
shoot down a geostationary satellite.
Sir.
Not geostationary, it was not geostationary. A satellite in the outer orbits, about 300 kilometers per month. So, what's the big deal about this particular expertise? Any small timer with a Stinger missile can shoot down an airplane.
Yes, sir. So the first issue is the weaponization and militarization of space. For example,
No, hang on. That's it. What's the essential big kick about this technology? You are able to shoot down
Sir.
a spacecraft, or you are able to shoot down an aeroplane,
Sir.
or you are able to shoot down a flying bird.
Sir.
Except for the distance, what's the difference?
So distance is the only thing that comes to my mind right now.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not the only thing that comes to mind. How does a Stinger missile? How does a missile fired from an aeroplane at another aeroplane work? So the plane cannot avoid it. You must have heard deploy flares, deploy flares.
Sir.
What is that thing going on?
Sir, I just skip my mind right now. I'm so sorry for that.
Read about infrared rays.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Okay.
Even if the plane goes left or right, the missile will follow.
Thank you.
So a Stinger missile, once shot, will eventually reach.
Yes, sir.
But in the case of that Mission Shakti, it's a very accurate technology.
Okay.
Please read about it.
Thank you, sir.
Now, the last question.
Sir.
The new Parliament building started off with passing a very important bill.
Sir.
Which one?
So is it a bill or an act?
It introduced the bill, then it became an act.
So Can I think of a few seconds?
Please do. Something of crucial importance to India as a whole.
Yes, sir. So there is the in regards to representation of women in the parliament, providing 1/3 reservation to women in the parliament and the state assemblies.
So let me come to the second one.
Sir.
It was introduced by some other government, so by some other government in some other time in
Yes,
the
sir.
past,
Yes, sir.
right? What had happened to that bill? Why did this bill have to be introduced in the parliament?
Sir. Sir, I think the main difference was the delimitation commission.
No. The bill at that time when it was introduced,
Sir.
this one had to be reintroduced. What's the difference? There's a legal, legislative difference.
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
That bill had lapsed.
Yes, sir.
That's why it had to be reintroduced.
Yes, yes.
If it had not lapsed,
Sir.
it would have simply been taken up for discussion.
Sir.
Why did it lapse?
Sir, sorry, sir.
It was in the Lok Sabha, that's why it lapsed.
Okay.
So if the government at that time had been smart,
Okay.
it would have done what?
Sir, as far as the passing of the bill is concerned.
As far as ensuring that it does not lapse.
Sir, so maybe the government then did not have the required strength to pass the bill.
You're not getting. What's the essential difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha?
Yes, sir. Sir, the tenure. That is the main difference.
What's the tenure of a Rajya Sabha?
Rajya Sabha, sir, it is a permanent house.
It's a permanent house.
Yes, sir.
So if you introduce a bill,
Yes,
it will
sir.
stay there forever
Yes, sir.
till it is shut down.
Sir, sir.
So if you want a bill to lapse, introduce it in Lok Sabha because when the Lok Sabha's tenure comes to an end,
Sir.
all pending bills lapse.
Yes, sir.
Here they stay live.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Anyway, your interview is over.
Thank you, sir.
What is your own feedback on your performance?
It was a great experience, and sir, I think physics is my weak point. That is where I have to work on. So apart from that, I believe my eye contact could have been better because I tend to lose focus the moment I glance my eyes here and there. So I think I have to work on that as well.
That's fine. If you are aware that you might lose focus,
Sir.
then after you respond, then you look at others. You simply have to work on it, okay?
Okay, sir.
The main important thing is you have a very winsome smile and a very comfortable, positive attitude.
Sir.
Right till the end, I did not see you
Sir.
floundering.
Sir.
And even if there were any knowledge gaps, any glitches, you covered beautifully.
Thank you.
For example, in RCCA,
Sir.
it was a bloomer all the way.
Yes.
But you quickly said, all right, I forgot I missed it. And you smiled and went on. This is a very positive quality.
Thank you.
Please keep this attitude in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Now, whatever gaps are, I think fundamentally there are some things to be understood,
Yes.
right? I'm giving you a very quick answer. Absolute zero cannot be achieved.
Sir.
It would mean that energy, the kinetic energy of the electrons would be zero.
Sir.
So they can't move. So all matter would cease.
Okay.
Secondly, how do you measure something which is 0?
Mhm.
When you are measuring with something which is 4 degree K.
Sir.
So it's a theoretical impossibility. Secondly, black holes are estimated by figuring out the movement of other planets around it.
Okay.
If you can't see something, you see the movement of other things,
Yes, sir.
right? These are some certain conceptual things.
Okay.
My request is for you to brush up on the concepts. Now you have only till 28th February to do anything, right? So pick up some primer and go through whatever you can, but don't sweat over it.
Yes, sir.
The best answer in such cases, sir, I had studied it long back, I forgot.
Okay.
Be absolutely honest as you are right now.
Thank you.
Okay, nahi aata to nahi aata. Big deal.
Sure, sir.
We'll move on to another question. Okay.
Okay.
The thing is, you should even when in questions where you're expressing yourself very well,
Sir.
your voice should take that character.
Okay.
You should
Modulation.
do some modulation. Okay, and be clear on things such as CA and NRC because it's a very Assam origin thing.
Yes, sir.
How it started. Now it's all over the country. The CAA issue. And go into with it.
Okay.
In the Northeast, the inland waterways have done. There's a lot happening.
Yes.
What all is happening in Manipur to begin with?
So the national waterways.
You have to pick up your DAF.
Okay, sir.
Pick up things. See, the fact that you are from Manipur.
Sir.
And there are not as many people from the Northeast coming into the civil services as personally I would love to.
Yes, sir.
Right? Is all the more reason that you should, the bar is a little higher.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So you have to know pretty much everything you can about your state, your Manipur.
Sir, in one of the mock that I attended, they asked me what is so unique about my tribe. So apart from the socio-economic, political things that I gave them, during the feedback, I told them that we are yet to have any UPSC civil service officer. So then and there, they told me to tell the board members that if I clear this exam, I will be the first.
Say so.
So do I sound desperate, sir?
No, you don't sound desperate. You sound self-confident.
Sir.
It's a very good line actually.
Sir.
Right? It's a very good line. You're optimistic as a young man. You should be optimistic.
Sir.
Now, I must particularly appreciate the very balanced and comprehensive analysis you gave of the Manipur problem.
Sir. Thank you.
Most people desist from speaking the word drug related.
Sir.
And you gave a very, very thorough thing and well rehearsed.
Thank
That's the kind of reply if you can replicate into every kind of questions. But point is, know about your state to begin with. 2, know about the Northeast.
Sir.
Most people on the board, I have served for a very long time in the Northeast.
Sir.
Okay, so I'm familiar.
Yes, sir.
But most people may not have worked there physically. So they would have toured it or gone on leave or tourism or something. Okay, so they will naturally be curious about asking you questions about not just Manipur but Nagaland, or some part of Arunachal, or some part of Tibet border and this and that. So be prepared for everything which has happened in the Northeast.
Yes.
And then come to the rest of India.
Yes, sir. So how was my answer to that alternative livelihood? For example, I talk about tourism, the sports,
I
and
honestly think
random.
you can be a little more innovative. You know about your region better than the others.
Yes, sir.
And there are certain practices that are very indigenous, certain products that are very indigenous, that are still wanting for geotag status, that are still wanting for industrialization of those productions. So I think you should incorporate that.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, I think you're just okay.
Thank you.
Read whatever newspapers and their editorials, especially.
Yes.
You can look at some of the better YouTube videos, especially by Shekhar Gupta, Karta Klata. That gives you some thumbnail version of an issue. You may not agree with him at all, but point is he gives you a comprehensive picture, just like you did in the first question.
Thank you.
Okay, that's about it. Anything to add, sir?
One is boundary issue.
Yes.
So that is recently discovered, the fencing of boundary.
Yes.
And other is that because Northeast and in general hills, shifting cultivation, now the scheme of stable strip cultivation is being promoted.
Okay.
So that is a basic issue for not having a say degradation of forest to avoid it. And people are to again cultivate, then why shouldn't it be a cultivation for a longer period on the same page?
Let me emphasize, your father is into agriculture.
Yes.
So anything to do with Manipur agriculture,
Okay.
you please figure out. Also, there's a lot of emphasis on horticulture,
Yes.
on beekeeping, on mission bamboo. Read
Traditional agriculture.
read about bamboo flowering and all the
Yes.
threats associated with all the rat thing. Okay, it has happened in the northeast earlier, and all this catching getting compensation from the administration by carrying a tail.
So how should I answer if someone asks me if the manning of Indo-Myanmar border is possible, physically manning?
Do you think it's possible?
Sir, since I belong to that region, I think the terrain and topography is very difficult.
So say so.
So, but the government of India has announced
Say no.
No. Hang on. You think if it has to be done, and the army has to do it, they'll figure out a way to do it.
Okay.
Whether it's easy, it's not easy. Say so. Right?
Okay.
That's what you honestly feel.
Yes.
That the topography is such that it's going to be an extremely difficult job.
Yes.
However, if it is required in the interest of security of the nation, and if it has to be done, it will be done.
Okay.
Simple.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the fuzzy reply to it, you see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Carry on.